Okay, peace, y'all.
Peace and power, abundance, as Jim would say.
Abundance.
All right. So we are back in here tonight. We will be jumping into that is what
Chapter 9, page 130.
the Amazon woman,
The Amazon woman.
and
Mm.
I am. Oh, I know sent out the picture of us. Okay, I'm sending out the link. And they like, if you don't stop sending this out,
Let me go ahead and add the StreamYard link.
okay. Trying not to bug people with the link, so just gonna send it to who shows up this time. Well, maybe not. Clipboard. All right, so the link is out there. I'm gonna go ahead and shut off my phone. If you are trying to text, it's interfering with the microphone, and so when we go back through the recordings, we don't want that to happen.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna go ahead and send it to my mom. So do you want to review last week, or we just hopping right in?
So last week, 1 trillion faked orgasms. Um, I don't know. I think it really is amazing. Um, Everything that we've read so far, I just feel like there's so much to do. Like there's so much to do. It's like how are we to be pleasure generators and faking orgasms at the same time? It just they can't. I feel like they can't occupy the same space. Like
That's true. That's a
I'm
good point.
confused. What am I supposed to do?
Woo!
But yeah, it was just really interesting. What about you? How you feeling about it?
I'm just thinking about all the steps. Okay, I'm
The
like,
steps, right? It feels like it's lots of steps.
I don't know. How do we get there?
So y'all,
So,
we did like a pre-read on Wednesday just about this Amazon woman. And that's a whole nother layer. We're
mhm.
gonna get into that, but it's a whole nother I feel like it's a whole nother layer of steps.
I think by the end, this is what I'm feeling right now. Right now, I'm feeling we're imbalanced. I feel like because we haven't read the masculine end, we feeling a little overwhelmed over here on the feminine. We like, oh, there's a
Mm.
lot to do. Well, listen, we found out it's a key, and you got to turn that key with the vagina and the phallus, you know. And so we found out there is a point right there between the anus and the vagina. It's
The
a lot.
cauldron. Is that what it was called? The
Yep, the
cauldron?
cauldron. And so we're faking orgasms, we're being artificial, we have adopted culturated prostitution.
Mm.
I mean, it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'm finna turn on this light. And y'all, today was gardening day for me, so please excuse me. I don't think y'all probably see me dressed for the rest of the season. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna try. Excuse me.
And so one of the things like so Nina and I were talking about was really how in reading this book how you're viewing it, right? And I feel like it's really important to read this book with looking at a review of the self, like how um your
Say it
um
how you told me. Say it exactly that way. I'm
say it
like,
how
it
you
made
told
so
me.
much
I
sense.
don't remember. I mean, so like a lot of times I think we are looking at this in terms of how to improve our relationships or how to be better in our relationships or how what to tweak or change for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And really and truly, I feel like it's important first to look at it from a perspective of how you are or how you have come to be, oops, sorry, in the faculty that you're currently in and what was shut
Mm-hmm.
down and how and why, and putting all of those pieces together. I think that is important because then you're not really, looking externally or looking outward for solution or an improved way of life, if you will.
Right.
So,
And you bust my bubble. I must say, I had a lot of insight. I'm trying to set the mood up in here already. So you did get me together. I appreciate you and your honesty because after the emotions, what's left? And so when you pointed out, yeah, this is about relationship with self,
mhm,
it blew me back because I had been slick looking at it as a um cheat code. Like, ooh, so this is wrong, and if I change this, then that'll change the circumstances. And so once you said that, then I have to go back and reevaluate
mhm,
um my purpose. Like it's like, okay, so it's not about a cheat code or so much as trying to do certain things because that still is like manipulation. You know, you're trying to do
mhm,
this to see if it'll work out the kinks on the other end. And so I just appreciate you for pointing that out because I was using it as some type of cheat code.
mhm,
And so when I look at it that way and taking this book and looking at it for my relationship with myself, that changed everything. That changed everything. Okay.
yeah,
It's like, dang. And also, look, Jennifer, don't pop my hand, but I'm I'm gonna go on into it because we get on the phone. We have a whole church service on the phone. We got to pass the collection plate at the end. Um, we're looking at this, and this is not a book of men against women. The goal of the book is to bring about balance. And so, when you study in the astrology and you look at your chart, there are elements in your chart. And so what you want to do is see where you are lacking in your chart and try to do activities that'll bring about balance there, right? And so in this book is the same thing. Now, when we're looking at and anybody, the link is in the chat. You want to hop on and chime in. But when we're looking at what's being read in the book, we all can only have a point of view from our own personal experiences. And shout out to Brother Uno. I did not properly introduce him. And so I want to give y'all a little of the background between us two because I feel like I didn't properly introduce him. Now, me and Brother Uno met on YouTube about 8 years ago. We were a part of a group that was spreading information like wildfire. We would get these books, we bust them open, and we was all doing videos. The person who was more organized, I'll say, he was like a seated hawk, but the men version. So I guess that'll be a seated eagle. He was in his bag, and we were doing it just for the love of knowledge, right? So we out there, we busting head every video, boom, 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 making 10 videos a day, everybody. And so we got it on the website. It went viral. It was a big movement. You can go back and look. I don't want to mention the other channel. What it ended up being for me is it was also based in that Hebrew um religion, you know. And so they did not enjoy women speaking, right? And so it came to an ugly head, and I separated personally because we were putting money together to buy land and to like create our own community. So the head person was taking the money, doing pretty much what they wanted to. We had two different groups. I was putting money in both. That didn't work out. When it was time for a female to speak, being that it was based in the Hebrew religion, that was an issue. I'm very detailed, so I was asking the questions like, okay, so we need to create a schedule of who gonna go out to the land when, because we can't just buy the land, we got to start working the land, and we need to see how many funds we got. Let's see some kind of records, and nobody want to put up no records, right? And so I made a video questioning what was going on, and after that, there was an issue. It was, yeah, I tried to go to the person, but we all do videos, and so that was my outlet. So the person responded on the rah rah. Personally, I'm not scared of men that get in the camera and be raw. I'm not. That's not me. I'm from the real hood, and so yeah, where I'm from, dudes don't do that. But long story short, brother Uno came out of that group after me, and he did apologize for not sticking up for me because the men, it was like men against women. That's all played. We over the men against women. We can't do that and build community. And so he was humble enough to come back and say I was right and that he should have said something. And to me, that speaks to character. On top of that, he is a father, a husband. He's been a good friend. We've talked for years, back and forth about each other's marriages and counsel each other in holding on to those commitments. And so when he comes on and he's speaking, he can only speak from what he's doing and what he's experiencing on his journey. Now, this brother, like I said, you need any book, he can get it on PDF. Y'all reach out to Brother Uno, subscribe to his channel, support. He's really a good dude. Does some of the stuff he say trigger? Yes, it does. But he's not responsible for my triggers. And so usually between me and him, we'll argue. We'll argue. And then we'll stay on the phone until we work the kinks out. Because we both friends. We don't want to get off the phone angry or mad about some of this stuff in the world when we've been each other's support system. And so he's just a genuine good dude. We do not, me or Jennifer, anything that's on this platform, it doesn't mean we're in agreement with what's being said. It's just we respect each other's journeys. There's no judgment here. So when he is speaking, some of the stuff, he raised an eyebrow. But that's his journey. I don't go toe to toe with my brother because I know he's a good, genuine guy. It's not many men come on my platform. He's always showed up. If I'm going live and he'll hop on and talk, and I allow him to be a man in my space. He'll get on and he'll say something and he'll apologize. And I say, no, you don't have to apologize here. Because if that's your experience, I can respect that. We ain't going to always agree. And so in that, I just appreciate him coming here. Right. Acknowledgement doesn't mean agreement. I appreciate him showing up and being the only masculine energy that we have here and being not afraid to hop on and allow us to experience with him what he's experiencing on his journey. And so all we ask is just for a little understanding, a little empathy, a little respect. We're not all going to agree. Me and Jennifer, we two different people from two different walks. We doing two different things right now in life. But what we do is come together and try to build community on different levels. And that's how the book club came about. We are working on a retreat for you all. We're not giving no dates. Don't get over there excited. Don't all sign up at once. Me, Jennifer, Carla and Lisa. We're gonna work on that. Trying to get y'all something to where we can bring about healing for the collective. But at the end of the day, what we don't agree on, we just agree to disagree. And so if there's anything in this book that's triggering you, you have to go into a place of healing to find what do they call it? What do they say? What's that scripture? Don't stress about the things you can't change. Some of that nature. If you being triggered, it's really something internal. Um, Jennifer know anybody know me. I'm a crier, okay? I will call your phone and be breathing and all that. And so it's just being in a safe place. We want to be a safe place for everyone. And so let's do that. Let's focus on our own journeys and then be in a safe space for each other. We need this healing, y'all. Mm-hmm. We do. And so this book is very triggering. We pre-read on Wednesday night. You all are welcome to join. Wednesday night we pre-read because it's so triggering. We don't want to really be live. And then you reading the facial expressions and you can feel the heartache, because last week it was heavy. Last week was very heavy for me.
Yeah.
The father issues and all that was speaking directly to me, and to give it to you raw and uncut, it's okay. But I like being in a safe space. This week I intend on reaching out to my dad. That is a relationship that I feel like if I don't heal that, there's no moving forward in the balance of all the archetypes, because he just said it last week. If you don't have that relationship, even if it's just being cordial, then there's no moving forward. And so I don't need any stagnant energy as far as my dad is concerned. I have acknowledged that a lot of people don't have their dad still around. And so in that, I talked about it with my mom this week, Jennifer, and I just decided, even though I don't want to reach out, even though I'm in my feelings, I want to know why you ain't reaching for me still. I still have to get past that, because if not, I'm giving brothers a side eye. every now and again, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
Start building up that Amazon woman we about to we about to read about.
Yeah. And so I'm just trying to bring about balance personally, and we do share it with you all. But we just want to be a safe space for everybody. When we get into the awakening the master masculine, hopefully Brother Uno was still gonna be on here stunting and dissecting like he is doing with the feminine. Shout out to Brother Uno. Don't you go nowhere when we get into this male version of this book now. Right. But we just enjoy the support. And like I said again, anybody who wants to hop on and give your point of view from your experience from your journey, please do. Please do. We're almost at the end, and we've had Brother Uno to come on like 3 weeks in a row. Switch up the energy. Hop on. Don't be afraid. Come out from behind the keypad or the keyboard. And so before we get started, we're going to plug our businesses. We're going to make a break for that. After you, Jennifer, I'm going to take it away.
Jenny Marie, the Abundant Sister. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Soul Sister Beauty is my cosmetic skincare line. That's Sistar. You can get all of that information in the description for this video. Please also follow When We Think of Us podcast. My cousin and I, Nyamekye, have a podcast that we will go live every Thursday on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. Website coming soon.
So what do you all discuss on When We Think of Us?
So we just discuss all things melanated women, melanated people, and it's really about empowering and building us up and talking about how we love us, really. So special guest Nina, you'll be there talking about sovereignty. Grow with YOLO was with us about gardening. So we really want to spend this particular season connecting with other like-minded people in business, in health, in growth and development, and just empowering ourselves.
That's awesome. I just wanted to slow Jennifer down. She like to breeze through. Like, it's our platform. We finna plug. Okay, you gonna get the details. Okay. So, I just dropped in the chat when we think of us page. Y'all go over there and subscribe. Show
Thank
my sis some
you.
love. She up in her reading like the elegant rose for y'all every week now. Listen, listen. Go over there and show her some love. Subscribe, like, share. Y'all share it on y'all social media.
Oh, thank you.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Abundant Sisters platform. Now, y'all know I'm a fusser. Y'all better look at them old videos. Go over there and show her some love. We should have to ask every week, but we will. We sure will. We ain't ashamed. Go over there and show her some love. Subscribe, like, share. Share with a friend. And also visit the website. Even if your support is the clicks, we appreciate it on whatever level. We get analytics for the clicks too.
Mm-hmm.
So hit them websites up, y'all. And I am Nina. Styles by Nina, LLC. I am Styles by Nina on Twitter, Instagram, and I am Katie's Alchemy on Facebook. That's my only page. I don't post a lot. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, but I'm there. Okay. And so go over to these social media platforms if you are present there and show us some love. We don't care if you just sharing the video on your social media. You ain't even watch it. It's okay. We appreciate it. And also, like I said, hit these link trees and all that. We get analytics for these things. And what we're trying to do, our goal for these platforms is to be monetized. We are creating an additional stream of income. Y'all support the news. Y'all support these religious institutions. Support your sisters. Y'all show us a little love. We don't ask for much. We just here once a week on Sunday. And Jennifer, you said y'all are live also on Thursday.
Girl, sorry, I was trying to get off mute. Yes, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay. Okay. And y'all come on over there on Thursday and put some comments in there. We get the push up when you are interactive. So when you come in, don't just watch. Put a comment in the comment box. Everybody check in the chat. Let us know where you are reading from or listening from. And then we'll go ahead and get started. We'll leave y'all alone. We will leave y'all alone.
I hear that. Thank you, Nina. That was lovely. Thank you so much, sister.
Anytime, anytime. We gonna slow this thing down. We ain't rushing through. We almost at the end of the book. So the least we can do is plug these business.
Word.
Okay, y'all. So we are getting into the Amazon woman. You want me to start or you want to start?
Um, Up to you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Nina.
Okay.
You can
You know
go.
I like you to Hey Chanel, check in, girl.
Hey, Chanel.
Yeah, that's my seeds, best friend's mom. Shout out to you. Anybody else, April, whoever is in support. Hey, Lisa. And so we are up in here. We're gonna get ready to read the Amazon Woman, chapter 9. It's such a short chapter, but it's jam-packed with what do we call it? Triggers, okay? So we're gonna get through it. It's not that long, and let me see where I'm gonna stop it so I can know. Because really, I'll be checking out once I'm triggered, and then I'll just be reading. Keep on going.
Where'd you stop at on Wednesday? The counterfeit personality? Oh,
Mm,
wait, no. Maybe the
yep,
counterfeit.
it is it.
Was it the counterfeit?
Yeah, do you want me to stop before then?
That's up to you. It's whenever you would like.
Okay, I'm gonna stop at don't tell me what to do because one of the pages is just a chart.
Okay.
Hey, April. Look at y'all pulling up for me. Texas is in the building. Mineral Wells on the map, okay? Shout out to y'all. I appreciate the support. All right, y'all. We're gonna get into it. Look at Chanel. To my hey mom. You got mom and daughter over here. Mama, are you on here? Look, you like I can't text you again. Okay. So, shout out to Mama Macmillan. She be coming through here every week too. We are generations doing healing together, and so that's the perk.
Yes, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. So, chapter 9, the Amazon woman. The tales of the Amazon woman are more than just myths. The myths are based on real life bands of warrior females. On the radar of history, the Amazons pop up briefly and then they are quickly gone. There is some archaeological and historical data about the Amazon cults, but there is not enough. When she did appear in history, she did not remain around for long. Perhaps they came into existence because the male population was wiped out by war or disease. We do not know. They did fight as warriors and sometimes by themselves and other times alongside their men. The tale of the Amazon comes to us via the ancient Greeks, Russians, and Africans. There's a brief mention of her in the history of Brazil. The latest mention of the Amazon cults are in Russia about 1,000 years ago. She lived among the horse cultures on the steppe plains to the south and east of the Baltic Sea. And even further back in history, we find mention of them in northern Africa, again among the horse cultures along the desert rim. While the Greeks glorify her, it would seem her real life was less glamorous than the myth. For the most part, it seems these cults of Yang women were outcasts, and we know that Yang is the masculine. Okay, these women were outcasts and misfits who were exiled from the main body. They were not welcome among the villages and settlements of the mainstream population, and most indigenous cultures that were in existence at the same time were intolerant of overly masculine females. I expect, in reality, a band of warrior women, unnaturally masculine, were about as popular and esteemed as a colony of lepers. Now, as fate would have it, she has popped up again in the world in modern Western culture. Officially, the modern Amazon woman is the child of the feminist movement in the 60s, but more astute observers know that she had her true origin in World War II. And I always drop this in there. World War II was a paperwork war, but it's example according to his journey and his experience. So the Great War changed the established order of society. So many men went away to fight, and the women left behind were asked to leave the homes and go into the factories and industries to build weapons and ships and goods of war. Few understood the spiritual and energetic effect this would have on these women. More importantly, she passed this masculine war energy into her children. These children were the first of the baby boomers. 20 years after the war, the energy rose up in protest in her feminine children, or in her female children, now grown to adults. The feminist movement burst forth with great anger and retribution. The women burned their bras and gave men the finger. Now I'm all for the bra burning. I feel right now. I just want to take it off. Okay. So it says that they gave the men the finger. So, but still the scholarly men of the time were ignorant of the energy. The protest was really about World War II and its evils. And the women and the blacks, we know that means melanated. Black has no standing at law. The melanated turned and looked at the next war, the war in Vietnam, and in anger, they shut it down. But still, nothing was done to heal the energy in these women. Nothing was done. And so, in the third generation of baby boomers after the war in the 1980s, the Amazon appeared. Women appeared. The definition of an Amazon woman, y'all listen closely now. Her female energy is significantly suppressed. Her masculine feminine faculties started the process of bringing some of her feminine archetypes online, but she blocked this development before it could be completed. Again, her feminine energy is significantly suppressed. Her masculine feminine faculty started the process of bringing some of her feminine archetypes online, but she blocked them, or she blocked this development before it could be completed. So it was stopped in its tracks by her. Her male energy is overdeveloped. She embraced a yang lifestyle, and that has to be tiring, right? Now, identifying Amazon woman behavior. Y'all get ready. What does the male see when he encounters the Amazon woman? What is the male point of view? It is very difficult to satisfy the Amazon woman, and she is not easily impressed. The Amazon woman only seems to become passionate about negative things. Ooh. The Amazon woman cannot accept criticism or testimony from a male without prejudice. She strongly resents male authority figures. The Amazon woman is to some degree an acculturated prostitute. Acculturated prostitute means that she engages in forms of prostitution which are socially acceptable and which involves virtual sexual acts as much as actual sexual favors. This is something like the gold digger. The Amazon woman is not able to get the same benefits from sex that the feminine woman does, and her attitude is that men do not deserve pleasure. Okay? Now, the Amazon woman is the female spirit with an abundance of masculine energy and male-like attributes in her personality. In some cases, her energy is so masculine that when she is intimate with her male energy, when she's intimate with a male, her energy repels his energy to some extent. This happens under the surface. So in other words, he may be very attracted to her body, but she may be very attracted to him, but their energy clashes. She finds that there seems to be a hidden force that seems to push them apart. Being an Amazon does not mean you look masculine. She can look very soft and attractive on the surface. It is in the personality that the Amazon nature is seen. And even more so, it is in the bedroom that it shows up. He may like what he sees at first, and often he wants to look forward to spending some quality time with her in just her panties and maybe a wine glass. But too often she is busy. This is not her priority. She comes home and degrades him about something and barks out commands. The mood is spoiled and she does not care. Pretty soon, the less attractive and more yin waitress at the coffee shop starts to look real good to him. The Amazon woman at home depresses the sexual performance of most males. The more masculine his energy, the more negative the effect of the Amazon on him. Lesbian and bisexual women do fall into the category of Amazon women. But by far, most of the women in this category are heterosexual and date men. Since the arrival of the Amazon woman, the divorce rate has gone wild. Every human being has an energy field or auric field or aura. The field is always broadcasting. It is daily attracting some things to you and repelling other things from you. What this field attracts to you depends on what you are broadcasting. This is the really short explanation of the law of attraction, a sister principle to the law of manifestation. In respect to the opposite sex, our field is always broadcasting based on our energy and personality. This generates a sexual response in all members of the opposite sex that we encounter, which are still sexually viable. Now, the fully feminine woman is broadcasting 4 positive signals to men. These are the 4 archetypes of energy we spoke of: the hawk, the elegant rose, the moon, and the treasure chest. This has the effect of attracting positive and productive events in her relationship experience that lead to positive outcomes for her. The Amazon woman is not. The Amazon woman only has brought forward one of the archetypes, and in some cases, she is sending out 4 negative broadcasts. So even though she brought on one, she still is broadcasting negatively all 4 of them. Now, what grows in our personality is what we feed it. The Amazon woman is only feeding her yang or masculine energy, and that is all that is growing. If we look deeper at how this manifests in her daily life, we will easily see how males perceive her. This leads to conflict between the sexes. It is unnecessary conflict. In the Awakening Circle, discuss how this shows up. There is no blame. It is an energy thing. This conflict is a result of men and women attempting to relate who have not properly developed their masculine or feminine energies. Fully develop your energy and the conflict will go away. Too many men are struggling every day in a relationship with a woman who is trying to fulfill the roles of both the male and female. In other words, she wants to wear the pants in the household. She wants to make all the decisions in the home, and the Amazon becomes threatened, anxious, and combative if he asserts himself, even on a small issue. Too many women are struggling every day in their relationship with men who will not stand up straight. He is apathetic, he refuses to commit, and he does not assert himself where it is needed. The cup is half empty. The Amazon woman only seems to become passionate about negative things. She complains, but does not really listen to the male's response, for his response does not seem to make any difference. The Amazon woman is not experiencing life in the same way the fully feminine woman is. The same events and climates do not hold as much joy and satisfaction for her. She argues with him over nothing and refuses to compromise because she desperately wants to experience passion about something, even if it has to be something negative. So her spirit indulges in a counterfeit substitute. The Amazon woman is going to experience more pain and misery because that is what she is attracting. So what happens when the male in a relationship encounters the Amazon woman and her negative broadcast? What does she do to a man when she projects her negative broadcast? What the male experiences is that she is invalidating him. Validation is expressed as acknowledgement, acceptance, approval, affection, appreciation, and admiration. But what the male receives instead is the negative side of that, which is rejection, disapproval, and disdain. This gradually kills his spirit. The typical male response is to withdraw. He stops being present. So he coming around, but he ain't present mentally. Depending on the situation, he may stay in the relationship, but he will not be fully on the situation. He may stay in a relationship, but he will not be fully present with the Amazon woman emotionally. It is at this point that he may look for another woman. He looks for another source of validation. With the Amazon woman, he is just going through the motions of a relationship. At the same time, most men are struggling with their own issues. I'm going to say that again. At the same time, most men are struggling with their own issues, right? So the non-select male experiences rejection, disregard, and disrespect from the entire peer group of female. Listen, man, I'm just now reading this right now, okay? Didn't we discuss this? I just now got it. So the non-select males experiences rejection, disregard, and disrespect from the entire peer group of females consistently. Pop singers make fun of these men, and groups of young women enjoy the pastime of bashing them. Often, this is done in an arrogant and dismissive manner so that the men end up with low self esteem. There's a red flag here. This has devastating consequences. These non select men are destroyed spiritually. And it may seem to the woman that the incident is over after the male slinks away with his tail between his legs. But usually these men will only turn and plague other women that they encounter. Our social system is a closed system. These men are not going anywhere. There will always be some female for them to abuse or oppress.
So Nina, what just hit different um
Right.
there for you? What hit different when you say you just reading this right now?
Just how we as women we say that we want to relate to the men and that we love them. We admire our men. We want community and peace and harmony with the men, right? But as soon as the men say something, we are hanging them up, we are stringing them up, and we casting them out. We don't even think about it. And so it's hard. It's like, dang, the seated hog, or this is the Amazon. I done gave this to seated hog. The Amazon woman is just one of them women. That's why it makes me think back. And I ain't thinking for them. So about right now. My response to the men around me, as soon as they say something, they don't hurt my feelings. I'm ready for them to go. So listen, that is imbalance. I was listening this week and I shared with you. I follow Hood Healer. Shout out to him. I got my Cash T-shirt from him with my Jupiter sign on now. So he does nice T-shirts. But what he was saying to his wife was that, well, his wife went live. Let me tell the whole story. I'll be summing it up. And she was just saying how he be going in on her. And so when he got on there to clear the air, he was saying, even though it's hurting your feelings, I can't die down being the man. And in this relationship, it's only one leader, you know. And so you can lead, but as a woman, we all know that gets heavy. Women leading is very heavy. We can do it. We ain't saying it's not doable, but it's heavy. It's because it's not something that you're supposed to be doing. That's why it's so heavy. It don't even feel comfortable. You can have a mansion, 10 rooms, 9 bathrooms, whatever your thing is, a nice car, a jet on the runway. But if you don't have nobody to share that with, and I just feel like us women, we can fill the role. I see it done daily. The roles are being filled, but how fulfilling is that? It's not fulfilling because it's out of your nature. Nature is balance. Y'all seen them flies I posted in the Patreon? That female fly ain't have no issue with being on the bottom. She didn't have no issue. If we observe nature, the female is not leading the packs and stuff unless, you know, rare instances. We talk about what lions, what a female, they got like a matriarch system. But other than that, it's heavy. And so it just makes me think to my relationship with the men in my life, including, shout out to my brother, just how we will throw people away so easily. And you can't do both. You can't say you are for your people and everything us and have a disregard for men and no respect. Men operate in respect. And so, yeah, what did it bring up for you?
Well, one of the things that I think about in the creation of the Amazon woman is like, so I think about single mothers
Mm-hmm.
and who are raising their children um, on their own, and um, what dating kind of looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and are you more inclined to, not really, the longer you continue to do that,
Mm-hmm.
are you more inclined to reject the authority piece of it? Like, um, I don't know. I feel like submission and trust kind of go hand in hand there, and clearly there's been a lot of trust that's been broken. And then I was also thinking about, so where it talks about the fully feminine woman is broadcasting four positive signals to men.
Right.
Do you think that, I was trying to think of what that looks like? Because every once in a while, I feel like just I'm floating in and out of all four at some point
Right.
or another.
Right.
But then it's like, when is there ever a time that sometime I will use business for example. If you're working for a corporation or corporate America, sometimes I feel like the Amazon woman has to be channeled in a way. And I
Yeah,
don't know. Perhaps that's me speaking from a negative broadcast of a feminine archetype. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying?
I
Just trying to
do.
understand how all of this works together.
I do, because in the business world, if you don't speak up for yourself, you get ran over like roadkill. That's in corporate, even in sales. You got to go out there, being committed to getting it and bringing it back.
Yeah.
Um, I can say maybe 2 years ago, when I was out there working on in that level, um, I felt like a man. I was picking up 2 shifts, delivering
Mm,
Amazon packages, and even though I didn't have many heavy packages, it's still 127 degrees in Texas. It's concrete jungle. Not a lot of trees like Georgia. No humidity. It's heat, and so it's dry. And I'm out there tossing packages because I have to get out there. And so I did feel like I was operating pretty much in my masculine. The money looked good, but once I was done with that, it's just like, yeah, I ain't trying to be no man. I would
mm,
rather do some paperwork.
mm,
So I'm just saying, I'm paperwork queen, honey. So yeah, it's a must, or you won't succeed. Absolutely,
mhm. Hey,
you gotta
YOLO.
be. Hey, YOLO. So yeah, and y'all go over and subscribe to Grow with YOLO. She's a fellow gardener. Y'all know I'm gonna show love. That's what I do. And so everybody in here, really, y'all can subscribe to each other's channel, because at some point, hopefully we inspire you to create. But for
Mhm,
those who are leading the trail, go ahead and subscribe. Be inspired. And so yeah. Um
mm,
but yeah, for me, I'm tired. At this point, I'm 41. I'll be 42 soon. I cannot operate in the masculine to the end. That's just that's not working for me.
mm.
And so yeah.
Is it my turn? These men are not going anywhere. Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like I had another thought, but I lost it. It's gonna come back up though.
It will.
Okay. Don't tell me what to do. The Amazon woman cannot accept criticism or testimony from a male without prejudice. She represents male authority figures. She automatically invalidates male opinions that are critical of her, even from experts in the field, due to the fact that they are male. She seeks to undermine the authority of her boss, her school principal, local politicians, and any male figure of authority in her vicinity if he presents as too masculine. It does not matter what his platform, stance, or views are, she is unconcerned about what he stands for. What angers the hell out of her is that he had the gall to stand up to her, that he is assertive, that he defends his ground. She sees this as a challenge. It is like one male lion becoming furious when another male lion enters his hunting territory. The first lion just does not want to occupy the space with any other male lion. She will, however, tolerate and welcome the opinions and contributions of homosexual men who are yin in nature, passive men, and men who are creative and artistic in a feminine way. She looks up to these men. The Amazon woman is hard to impress. She resents male authority. She is difficult to satisfy. It is just hard for her to be emotionally impressed or satisfied. The man buys her flowers. They are beautiful, but she only feels a little joy. In a few minutes, it wears off. He does not get any real credit for his act. To be impressed by any man, regardless of his accomplishments, a woman must be fully present in life. Things must matter to her. A woman is impressed by men to the point that she is invested in them. To connect with men, she would need to have feminine energy. And so the reaction to the Amazon woman is that men stop trying to impress her. And the men in her select category go out of their way to let her know just how much they are not trying to impress her. And they ridicule any man who tries to, because only the non select men do that. So, Nina, real quick, the non select males, these are the males that are initially rejected by Amazonian women.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the part. So the non-select males experiences rejection, disregard, and disrespect from the entire peer groups of females consistently.
Yeah, I know those guys, the nice guys that you throw to the side because he just don't seem like, or it could be the guy that just has off energy. Y'all
Hmm.
know we can be cruel.
So like, I mean, in that, like, the disregarding could just be like they're not even noticed.
Yeah,
They
the
don't
guy
even
that
stand
has the
out.
off-brand shoes, and you looking at his shoes like it's a plague. I remember when I first met my husband, he was on my bus. I have a CDL, and so I'm y'all gonna have to bid on my services when we start building these communities. The highest bidder. And so I'll be driving the goods for y'all. But just in general, when he got on the bus, it was a hot mess. I'm gonna share this with y'all. He don't care. So I get to the bus station and I'm in full mid argument with somebody I was dating when I first moved here, right? So my attitude is already twisted up. It was horrible. So he's smiling. He comes to the bus. He got McDonald's in his hand. So I'm like, you know, you can't eat that on my bus. He's like, oh no, I ain't trying to eat. I was just trying to see what time you were pulling off. And then I'm annoyed because I'm like, yeah, the schedule's right there. Like, you your bag. I'm gonna need you to go. Horrible.
Damn, Nina.
Horrible. Okay. And so I'm texting back and forth. I'm emotional. Cancer ascended, right? And then he got on the bus with the food closed. So I'm still giving him the side eye. Did you just hear me say you can't eat on the bus? And so he's just smiling. He's just smiling. And so I remember him getting off the bus. Before he did, he asked me, was I single? And I was just like, clearly, clearly I'm single at this point still. I am over 30, no kids, no husband. I was a little bitter about it all. And so moving to Texas was my switch of scenes, switching up my energy. I was working out real hard before I left. Just new things, new lifestyle. And so it's just his spirit was just carefree. He could have had a chip on his shoulder. He had just freshly got out of prison, right? No visits the whole time he was there. He could have been in a bad mood, but he wasn't. He was choosing to just be excited about the newness. And so I'm all screwed up. The Amazon, the City Hawk rolled in one, right? Just screwed up. And then so when he asked for my number, I said, well, you can give me your number. We exchanged numbers. I remember him getting off the bus and I looked down at his shoes. And I was like, he better not wear them boots on our date. Horrible, okay? And so that's what it is. Us as women, we can be cruel on every level.
Mm.
It could be the shoes. It could be he got on a hat and it's misfitting his head, honey. He's just getting chopped on to the side. And I know that dudes will make it's somebody for everybody. But some dudes do not recover from that treatment of women and they do build up some type of vengeance and they go around taking it out on women. And so it wouldn't kill us to be a little more kind. They could have went far away. My cousin was like, I don't think it's a good idea. He might kill you or something. I'm like, you know what? I'm not afraid of killers. I kill back. That's that Amazon woman. We ain't scared. And so
Mm.
out of that. So yeah, y'all.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ridicule man. Where I'm on the counterfeit personality. Human beings born with certain traits and dispositions already fixed in their Human beings are born with certain traits and dispositions already fixed in their natal personality. This is called the natal character map. If these natal attributes are naturally cultivated in a woman as part of her upbringing, then she will develop an adult personality true to her inner nature. She will tend to be naturally live. She will tend to naturally live in sexual harmony with the opposite sex. Her master feminine faculty will not diminish and go into remission. This adult will naturally seek to relate to the opposite sex in a productive manner and will offer only minimal resistance to living by a natural code. But because Western society is out of alignment with nature, it does not support such natural spiritual development. When a woman accepts false ideas and illusions about reality in the place of the reality itself, then she must become something counterfeit. She will develop what is called a counterfeit personality. Men will just say that that woman got issues, man. One, because the dominant culture is saturated with unnatural themes, toxic false belief systems have become the accepted norm by the majority. Two, the acceptance of these false belief systems sets up a series of subconscious programs that block the psychological development of self. The acceptance of an illusion of reality in the place of the reality itself has the effect of creating a counterfeit version of self in the place of our true natal self. Let me just read that one more time. So, number two, the acceptance of these. Let me start from number one. My bad. I got to reread that. So, number one, because the dominant culture is saturated with unnatural themes, tox- toxic false belief systems have become the accepted norm by the majority. The acceptance of these false belief systems sets up a series of subconscious programs that block the psychological development of self. The acceptance of an illusion of reality in the place of the reality itself has the effect of creating a counterfeit version of self in the place of our true natal self. So I think about social media big time when I think about all of those. Like, no one is who they actually are. And it's socially acceptable. Okay, number three, the vacuum created by the premature halt in natural development calls forth into being abnormal development. To compensate for what should be there naturally but is not, we form something artificial in its place. To support the work of the master feminine faculty, the adult woman will need to undergo a partial detoxification of her personality. False beliefs shape life experience and personal development into an unnatural mutation of what they were designed to be. The counterfeit persona is the definition of what is socially dysfunctional about us. We have issues, negative emotional issues, and this stuff gets in the way of any transformation back into a normal state. People believe very firmly that this shell is us, and getting a person to recognize that their counterfeit persona is indeed not their true self is a major challenge, to state it mildly. We all know that most people have different faces for the different sides of their life. They show one face on their job, another face to their family, and a different face to the opposite sex when first dating. It may be shocking to know that these vastly different faces all belong to the same person. We often evaluate a future love mate based on the wrong face. These faces are matrices of personality that we gradually construct during our lives. They, they comprise our coping mechanisms. They are your scars, badges, and the lessons you've learned. But these faces don't reflect the inner you, the real you, the core of the you that nature designed you to be. A woman tends to grow out of her counterfeit persona. As she does, she may also grow out of the relationship that she is currently in. It becomes important now to define or label the counterfeit personality. This makes it easier to recognize it. And this makes it easy to talk about how to fix it. Women need to recognize what it looks like in the males they encounter, and women need to recognize what it looks like in other women. There are 5 versions of the counterfeit personality. See the table. I think I got it right here, but for those of y'all who have the book, you can see it as well. So, number one is the schizoid personality. She believes that males are naturally born with defects of character, and the behavior that results is to blame for her negative experiences. Her reaction is anger and hostility. Personality is fragmented. One week she's fully engaged, the next week her hostility restricts her to a partial expression of life. Number two, the oral personality. The woman with an oral personality structure fears that her mate will abandon her emotionally. Her reaction is an entitlement posture or selfishness. I am entitled to certain benefits from life, regardless of whether I make a contribution or not. If my mate does not gratify my entitlement needs in the relationship, it is a sign that they intend to abandon me. Number three, the psychopathic personality. She believes that she must be in control in a relationship in order to receive the benefits from mating that she desires. She is obsessed with control and she manipulates her mate and others. Number 4, the masochistic personality. The masochistic female believes that males are incapable of treating her fairly, passive aggressive as a form of rebellion. The victim who undermines the agenda of her mate because of her belief that cooperation equals submission. She picks partners who tend to be abusive, and when she rebels without reason, they tend to mistreat or abuse her. Number 5, the anal or rigid personality. She believes she can achieve love in a relationship without risking the exposure of her true feelings. She believes that companionship, sharing money, space, sex, and material things equals a relationship. She has trust issues, fear of risk, insecurity, fear of rejection, and she remains on the surface. One of the issues with the Amazon personality is the disconnect between the right brain and the left brain. The hawk energy restores the equilibrium between her right brain and her left brain. By definition, females tend to be more right brain in judgment and worldview. Men tend to arrive at conclusions, solutions, and plan through a thought process that is either deductive or inductive. These are logical and linear thought streams. Normal women tend to arrive at conclusions, solutions, and plan through a thought process that is synergistic or intuitive. It does not follow a linear pattern. It is not logical. Amazon women are somewhere in between. In the modern workplace, this may help her, but it usually hurts her in relationships. Men look ahead with vision and then go step by step to get to a place in the future. Women look at the whole thing in the now and see only the final desired objective. They do not like to dwell on the steps in between. Often they have a feeling and intuition about it. They do not know why or how, but it feels right. In the last 50 years, women have been forced or have chosen to be more and more left brain in thinking. And this bleeds over into her personality.
Whew. So what do you
Yeah,
think?
like what I was saying on Wednesday, I have definitely dabbled in all five.
Mhm. I just felt like you were shooting when you was reading. The oral, the anal, the massage. Yes, all of them.
All of them.
Fragmented personalities. Yeah. Drop in the chat which one of these personality types that you feel like that you have something in common. If it's all four, just drop all four. Yeah.
And you know, why I say it's so important to look at this from a perspective of self,
Mm-hmm.
because all of these five personalities were developed from past experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important that in order to get to the other side, or like that, um, let's just say it's a relationship that we desire, there's the healing that has to take place. There's healing that needs to take place here to address these. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for me, when I feel myself getting out of character, or just according to this book is changing. I don't know if it ain't changing you, you might be rebelling against the book. But for me, in my behavior, I'm realizing, is your reaction going to help the situation, or do you just leave it alone and then come back to it once everything's calm? And so it keeps me looking at the behavior.
Yeah.
Us as women, we get older and older, and what I notice is we'll repeat the behavior, and then we'll have friends around us that justify the behavior,
Mm.
not even acknowledging or realizing that it's all coming from sometimes trauma. That's what we call trauma bonding. When you sitting with somebody and y'all are passionate about the things you have been through in your life, and you talk about all the bad stuff, and not even telling each other, you know what, yeah, that turned you kind of bitter. And so it just seems like you need to really deal in that and heal that part of yourself, because how I'm seeing you show up with men is kind of anal, you know. And then you say you want a man, but it's showing up that as you don't want that. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you have one, attracting a certain type or personality. Because again, if you operate in trauma or fight or flight 24/7, or the Amazon, you trying to take the place of a man. And men don't want to be in relationships with women that want to be men. It's just, it doesn't go together.
Yang, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, all of those things you just described, like that trauma bonding in itself is Amazonian, right? Like only being excited about the things that are negative.
Mm-hmm.
And the other part, like the whole natal, like I don't know, they didn't call it a. I thought about a birth chart, but
Oh,
understanding of the natal personality,
I'm glad
right?
you brought that up. Yeah, it is the birth chart.
Is
Shout out to everybody that let me read their chart, because the thing about the chart is what you saying is going on. That chart gonna show what lies where, and
yeah.
so when you know that chart, you can be a better friend, a better sister, a better you. You get what I'm saying? A better spouse, because you can see it in the chart. It's not going nowhere. You can't. The chart is something you can't put up this curtain and you come out and you like scene. You in full act. That chart gonna be like, yeah, baby, you suffering today, huh? It's gonna get down to the root of it. You can smile every day, but your chart is gonna show where that unhappiness lies. And it also, the positive end of that is it's gonna show you how to heal it. When you know
Mhm.
better, you do better. And so me and Jennifer, Lisa, all of us was in astrology class for more than one setting. Like we were trying to understand that thing. And I appreciate the astrology, because what it made me realize is that I do have a lot of water and air in my chart, which means I'm overly emotional and I overthink everything.
Mm.
And that destroys relationships. That's a lot. So you have to balance those things out. And that's the same thing what the book is teaching. You have to heal those parts of yourself and get some kind of balance. Because if not, you out here, you saying you want a man, but you mistreating the brothers on like 5 levels at one time.
Yeah, so and to that point, like looking at the anal personality, right? Where it's just so you think you actually are ready for you're in a relationship because it's like we share everything,
Mm-hmm.
we live together,
Mm-hmm.
we have sex, we get
Mm-hmm.
each other gifts,
Mm-hmm.
but you haven't opened yourself up emotionally. You
Right.
haven't allowed yourself to be vulnerable
The vulnerability.
because you think it's too risky, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like what if I get my heart broken, or what if like that's you know
Mm-hmm.
what if there could be a whole bunch of things, like what if he doesn't like me anymore, or what if he's not attracted to me anymore, or whatever. And so it's just like that remaining on the surface, that I would say that resonates for me. I don't know about now, but definitely in the past. And I'm, Capricorn moon. So people that's something that requires work, like to actually be vulnerable at that level.
And shout out to the Capricorns, and y'all give Jenna Marie some love. Look at this hair, honey. She is coming to serve today. The natural hair curls probably coming through, okay? So yes, not being vulnerable. This bust my bubble. The chart
Mm,
itself was like the whole chapter. Not being vulnerable, but you asking the men to be vulnerable. And so it's just a bunch of fake stuff going on. And this might go on for 10 years.
mm,
I realized that too about myself. Like, okay, you asking for vulnerability. Vulnerability looks different in men and women. Men's version of vulnerability is them opening up their funds. Our vulnerability is emotional. So, do you want your man being emotional? Ooh, that ain't in nobody want. he just crying and talking.
you
No,
wouldn't like that? You wouldn't like that if he was crying, Nina?
listen, don't cry, sir.
Not all the time, but what if he just had like he was just kind of.
Well, he can have a moment, but if he cry as much as I cry, that's the issue. I'm the crier here. Shout out to me. All my friends know I cry. Okay, ain't got time. Woo! So yeah, he can't be crying like I be crying. I'll take the opening up of the funds when we discussed that in astrology class. I felt so stupid because I was asking for him to show up emotionally. And it's like, no, girl, this people been married 20 years and he still ain't opened up his finances.
Mm,
So you gotta pick your heart, okay?
mm.
Would you like for him to be crying all the time? Or would you like to know this is how men show vulnerability? They put you on their accounts and stuff. And so for me, it made me look at my situation a little bit different because I was asking for the tears just on some cancer ascendant stuff.
And that's something to talk about on Wednesday too, like the astrology piece of it. Cause like just as you were talking about that,
Mm-hmm.
so I have Cancer in the seventh
Mm-hmm.
with Mars there. So if I have to really think back, I had a lot of like emotionally immature relationships, like just
Because the seventh
ridiculous.
house is what? Relationships.
Hmm.
The seventh house is relationship.
Yes.
And Mars
Yeah.
is immaturity.
Yes.
And Mars rules what? Scorpio and Aries.
Mars rules. Yes. Aries.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Look
Look
at
at
me.
you go.
Look at me learning the astrology.
Look at
Hold on.
you.
I'm gonna y'all look I ain't got no instrument. Look at me remembering some stuff.
Look at you.
Okay,
Crypto astrologer.
I'm an astrology and mineral wells. Okay, I'm like, let me look at your chart. Gotta see what's going on. So yeah, that's what it is. It's just, and we
Mm,
all have those immature placements, whether it be Pluto, Mars, whatever. We all can be immature at some times, and so that's the thing: admitting that you're immature, and then being able to change your ways. Because that's another thing. We'll admit it, but won't change,
yeah.
and still be expecting change. And so this chapter, whew, once you put that into a category, and we're gonna put this back on the screen so y'all can see again these characteristics, it's kind of tough. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So this pretty much sums up the Amazon woman. And I don't know, like the whole masochistic, believing that males are incapable of treating her fairly, passive aggressive as a form of rebellion.
Mm-hmm. Would that fall into all men are dogs? Yeah.
Yeah, or like at the if you're at the workplace and you feel like unless I am, a
The
bitch, they
mm-hmm.
need to, they're not going to respect me, they're not going to treat me fairly, and I'm
Right.
going to assert myself. um to say the victim who undermines the agenda of the mate because of her belief that cooperation equals submission.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And the word submit to women sometimes just leave a dirty taste in your mouth.
right.
Just because
Girl,
it's
I was
like,
right up there with pleasure generator. Like, wait a minute,
okay,
what?
right. Like, they didn't tell you I showed up. They didn't tell you I showed up. I'm not here to be generating no pleasure.
Right.
And so naturally, you do show up and you cook and you clean and you try to make sure everybody's pleased and right. But to say it, you're a
Right.
pleasure generator.
It's like it's being done anyway, but the minute you say that I'm supposed to be doing that, it's like, wait a
Mhm.
minute,
Yeah,
that's
that's the
I don't
problem.
don't tell me what to do. That's what it said
You
in
peasant.
this chat. One of these parents, don't tell me what to do. That's a choice.
Y'all out there calling the brother, you peasants. You're none deserving of these great things that I.
That entitlement piece, like what? Regardless of if I make a contribution or not,
Yeah,
I'm deserving.
yeah, yeah. And it's
Anyway.
sad because I showed up in my relationship with that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put up this wall just so you
Mm.
know you can't run over me.
It's true. It's
Like, nah,
true.
sis. You showing up the wrong way. Okay. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like
Hmm. And then submission. I don't know what about that word. Even growing up in the church, it says that cooperation equals submission. So if you being
mm,
cooperative, so you just walk around causing drama just so it won't seem like you in.
right. Like don't get any ideas.
That's crazy. And I've been all for the schizoid. She believes that males are naturally born with defects of character,
Mm,
and the behavior that results is to blame for her negative experiences. And her reaction is anger and hostility. So no matter who the man, you're very angry and hostile towards him. The personality is fragmented. 1 week she is fully engaged. She like, hey boo, how you doing? You texting me, checking for me. And then in the next week, her hostility restricts her to a partial expression of life. So you gonna leave them on red,
mhm.
yeah, yeah. Check yourself, sis.
Hold up though. Okay, wait. I just did the etymology of submission though, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so it has here a lowering, letting down, sinking, noun of action from past participle stem of submittere, to let down, put down, lower, reduce, yield. See submit. To place oneself under the control of another, to yield oneself, to yield, lower, let down, put under, reduce, let go, or send. So, I mean,
But are you a pleasure generator or not?
here, I'm down to generate some pleasure now, but
You don't want to be put
I don't
down.
want to be put down.
Listen,
Like, let me,
hold on now, hold on. Let's look up um look, who wrote that.
who wrote that? Who
It
wrote
could
that?
be a setup, okay? Yeah, I don't want to be put down. And so that's the thing. That's why we have to read the other half of this
Yes.
because we need to know what that shows up as in a male. But we have to too acknowledge that we can be nasty sometimes. Just on a feminine reading this chapter, I know females will meet a dude and he have on a beanie in the summer and she like, I know his head was hot. If you don't get the fuck on, I'll be excuse my language, sorry mama met me. But just snap and be talking about the man's scalp and all that.
Aw.
And it's just not a real thing. And so yeah, we can be very nasty. Looking at these personalities, it's just fragments of your pain. And so
Yes.
when you talk about how you're showing up, how you're affecting others, if you going into the place and you turning it out every time, feelings get hurt every time you show up, you have to check yourself. And that's the bigger thing. It's just like, okay, yes, the world is a hard, ugly place, but have you allowed that to affect you in a negative manner to where you putting out that same negative broadcast?
Mm.
You never showing up in love. You talk about it, but you're not really showing up about it. And so that's what this made me think about. Like, dang. And I can't say none of these personalities are too far removed from me today. It's like this ain't past tense. Some of this stuff is still here, or the residue of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, y'all, that was chapter 9.
Chapter 9. So next week we have Awakening the Hawk,
Awakening
Restoring
up.
Intuitive Thinking. And see, I'm looking forward to that because I'm always talking about, it frustrates me so bad to receive just kind of like a gut punch from my intuition and it happens so
Mm-hmm.
fast. And
Mm-hmm.
then have it blow up in my face and knowing I should have just followed my intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I wonder if like um was mentioned, like we have either been forced to or chosen to operate more left brained
Mm-hmm.
in thinking.
And trying not to operate in spirit. And look, April, don't be mad at me. I'm gonna share your story. All my friends know I will share your story. Okay. Now, maybe I should have left the name off, but anyway. So April, we were talking. We meet at the park often, and so she said she was riding down the street, and some just told she saw the police, and some told her to make that left to go see what was going on. She continued to the park, and so come to find out, it was her son being pulled over, and something indeed heavy was happening. And so it's us. We taught and trained naturally or subconsciously and unconsciously to kind of downplay the intuition part when that is very important. That intuition is always correct and it saves you sometimes. And so when you go against that, it's just like a gut punch. That's what she said. She said her regret was not making that
Mm.
left and going to check it out. And so we talked about it. We hugged and talked about it because there's a mom that's like your spidey senses.
Mm-hmm.
So, just having that feeling, like, and then to hear about later, your intuition was on point. And so, yeah, we are trained to ignore our intuition, and the intuition is always right. We in
Mm-hmm.
relationships, in business, in personal, that initial gut feeling is always on point. And so, yeah.
All right, let's restore this intuitive thinking, y'all. Yeah, so if y'all I guess hit us up if you're interested in doing a preview of the chapter on Wednesday nights.
Right, it's
We
open.
have really great conversations there.
Yeah, it's on Zoom. It's a private setting. We share our experiences. No, it's a safe place, no shame. And we get us a good kiki. We be laughing and laughing. And so, yeah, if you want to participate, show up. Again, I am Styles by Nina on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And Katie's Alchemy on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook and Instagram. right? So Katie's Alchemy is my business that I named after my grandmother. She was also a healer. And so just thinking about traditional ways and watching her coming up, I just want to pay homage to her. Um, yeah, her influence. This is who healed me. And
Mm.
it was done subconsciously. She didn't say much. She was a Capricorn. Shout out to Capricorns. Capricorns be shining. Um, but her influence was everything for me. And so I love you, Katie Ruth. I know you're watching over me or whatever, but yeah, that's the business. And so we healing through herbs and knowledge and sharing safe spaces and community, coming together and being a support system for each other. And so shout out to all my customers. Body butter season is bringing up to a close end. We ain't doing nothing with the body butters after this season is up, and we're going directly into oils. You all don't forget that we're coming up on the full moon, and so think about some of those old habits that you're trying to get rid of, and write those things down. Journal. A part of the healing journey is journaling
Mm.
for a lot of us. If you feel like you can't talk to nobody, you can be alone with your thoughts and just write them out. You have to get that energy off one way or the other. And so, yeah, subscribe, follow, like, share. Don't forget to comment on YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell. All the things that YouTube requires to get you up in the algorithm, y'all go do that for us. I go through my comments and approve them and respond, and so that also helps us with the interaction and getting up in the algorithm. We are trying
Mhm.
to. I'm close to 1,000. We're trying to get Jenny Marie to her 1,000 as well. So y'all show some love, share the video, like I said, go on her channel, subscribe, hit that bell, so that we become monetized and we can bring y'all more value and content in the near future. So you gonna plug your social media again?
Yes, y'all. Well, actually, all of my information is in the description to my video. So you can follow my business page, Soul Sister Beauty, and that's Sistar. I am. You follow my personal page at the Abundant Sister. That's Sistar. My website, soulsisterbeauty.com. Um YouTube channels, When We Think of Us, on Instagram and YouTube as well. Yeah, thank you.
Right, right. And we appreciate everybody that's showing up every week. We appreciate your support. If you want to get on here and, like I say, even if it's just plugging your own business, the platform is open. We are here. We're building a community and we're supporting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out if you are interested in doing an interview. I opened up my platforms to interviews this year. First interview, I was nervous. It was awesome. And so that's what I want to get more into, getting to know the community. If we're going to build community, we got to get to know each other. There's no
Mm-hmm.
other way of building community. So we want to keep that in mind. This is the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is groups and using this technology to come together and manifest things in the real world. You use the technology and then you show up in person. And so that's what we're all about on my platform. And Jenna Marie as well, the Abundance Star. She's been so supportive, supportive. And I appreciate you for even taking that time to do this. You're a busy woman, okay?
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, y'all hit us up. We'll post a link if you all DM us or send us an email, something, so we can know you want to participate on Wednesday night. Go ahead and reach out. Wednesday night is way more juicy than tonight because it's the initial reaction. And so we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. And peace and power to everyone, and enjoy your week.
Yes. Peace, y'all.